outside. These mobile firefighters have been going around putting out fires, started by protesters. They've just put out a wheelie bin down there, and now they had another bin fire to deal with. The protesters are on the roads down there and up there, and you can really feel the tear gas in the air.
Picture this. You've saved for years. You've dreamed about croissants at sunrise, the Eiffel Tower sparkling at night, romantic strolls along the Seine. You've watched Emily in Paris 3 times. You land at Charles de Gaulle Airport with butterflies in your stomach and a camera roll ready to be filled with magic. Then reality hits you like a brick wrapped in a baguette. Welcome to Paris 2026, where your Instagram fantasy is about to collide with a harsh, expensive, and increasingly frustrating reality. I'm about to tell you why visiting the City of Light has become the city of, "Are you kidding me right now?" And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll either be canceling your trip or at least knowing exactly what nightmare you're walking into. First, let's address the elephant in the arrondissement. Your wallet is about to cry. Paris has always been expensive, but 2026 has taken things to an entirely different stratosphere. The post-Olympics infrastructure investments and the global inflation wave have created a perfect storm of price gouging that would make even Dubai blush. A simple coffee at a cafe terrace? You're looking at 8 to 10 euros now. That's nearly $12 for a coffee that would cost you $3 at home. Want to sit down for that coffee? Add another 2 euros for the privilege of using a chair. I wish I was joking. Let's talk about hotels. The average hotel room in central Paris now costs between 300 to 500 euros per night, for something that would generously be described as adequate. We're not talking about luxury here. We're talking about a room the size of a walk-in closet with a bed, a bathroom where you have to sit sideways on the toilet, and if you're lucky, a window overlooking either someone else's window or a wall. Want to stay near the major attractions? Double that price. The Mermaid, Saint-Germain, the Latin Quarter. You're easily paying 600 to 800 euros per night for a standard room. That's your entire week's accommodation budget for many travelers, gone in a single night. Food is another disaster. Tourist area restaurants have completely abandoned any pretense of reasonable pricing. A basic 3-course meal in a mediocre restaurant near the Eiffel Tower or Champs-Élysées will set you back 80 to 120 euros per person. And I mean mediocre. We're talking frozen foods, reheated in a microwave, passed off as authentic French cuisine with a smile and a shrug. Even the museums have gotten aggressive with pricing. The Louvre now costs 22 euros for basic admission, but here's the kicker. That doesn't guarantee you'll get in. More on that nightmare in a minute. The Musée d'Orsay, Versailles, and other major attractions have all increased their prices by 30 to 50% over the past few years. Transportation isn't spared either. A single metro ticket costs 2.50 euros. A day pass? 16 euros. Taxis from the airport to the city center will charge you anywhere from 60 to 100 euros depending on traffic and how much they think they can fleece you for. And yes, despite Uber existing, taxi drivers have maintained their special talent for taking the longest possible route, while making you feel guilty for not speaking French. But, let's say you're wealthy enough not to care about the prices. Congratulations. Now you get to experience the second level of hell, the crowds. Paris received over 44 million tourists in 2024, and that number hasn't decreased. The post-Olympic bump that everyone hoped would fade? It didn't. If anything, the Olympics gave Paris even more exposure, and now everyone wants their piece of the Parisian dream. The result is an absolute nightmare of human congestion that makes rush hour in Tokyo look peaceful. The Eiffel Tower area is a war zone of humanity. Thousands of people crammed into the Champ de Mars, jostling for that perfect Instagram shot, while aggressive illegal vendors harass you every 30 seconds trying to sell selfie sticks, water bottles, and miniature Eiffel Tower keychains. Want to actually go up the Eiffel Tower? Hope you booked your tickets 3 months in advance, or you'll be waiting in line for 4 to 6 hours. Yes, 6 hours. To spend 15 minutes at the top before being herded back down. The Louvre is even worse. They've implemented a reservation system, but even with timed entry, the museum is so packed that you'll spend more time looking at the back of people's heads than actual artwork. Want to see the Mona Lisa? Good luck getting within 20 feet of it. You'll be in a cattle pen of tourists, all holding their phones above their heads, taking pictures of a painting the size of a poster board behind bulletproof glass. The entire experience lasts about 45 seconds before security moves you along. You'll see it better on Google Images. Notre Dame, which recently reopened after the 2019 fire, has become another bottleneck of frustration. The restoration is beautiful, yes, but the security measures and crowd control mean you're looking at 2 to 3 hour waits just to enter, followed by being shuffled through at a pace that gives you barely enough time to appreciate anything before you're pushed toward the exit. Now let's talk about what happens when you combine desperation, massive crowds, and wealthy tourists. Crime and scams have reached epidemic proportions. Paris has always had pickpockets, but 2026 has seen a sophisticated evolution of theft that targets tourists with military precision. The metro is particularly dangerous. Organized groups work together, creating distractions while others empty your bags and pockets. They're so skilled that you won't notice until you're at your hotel, trying to find your wallet or phone. The petition scam has reached new heights of aggression. People, often claiming to be deaf or supporting some charitable cause, will thrust clipboards in your face, demanding signatures and donations. The moment you engage, hands reach for your pockets and bags. They've become so bold that they operate in broad daylight right next to police officers. The gold ring scam persists. Someone finds a gold ring on the ground near you, asks if it's yours, then when you say no, offers to sell it to you. It's brass. It's always brass. But tourists fall for it daily. ATM skimming has become widespread. Criminals install devices on ATMs near tourist areas that copy your card information. Use the wrong machine, and your bank account could be emptied before you've finished your dinner. Taxi scams have gotten worse. Drivers claim their meter is broken, quote absurd flat rates, or simply take routes that triple the distance. Fake taxis operate at airports and train stations, charging whatever they want because tourists don't know any better. Restaurant scams have become sophisticated. Some establishments have different menus for tourists with inflated prices. Others add mysterious service charges and cover fees that weren't mentioned. Some have been caught running credit cards multiple times. Paris's infrastructure is crumbling under the weight of mass tourism, and it shows everywhere you look. The metro system, while extensive, is overwhelmed. During peak times, which seems to be always now, trains are packed beyond capacity. Platforms are dangerous with crowds pressing toward the edge. Service disruptions are common, and the condition of many stations and trains is genuinely shocking for a first-world capital city. We're talking trash, graffiti, broken escalators, and a distinct smell that can only be described as Parisian metro eau de toilette. Many of the city's sidewalks and streets are in poor condition. Combined with the aggressive parking of e-scooters and bikes everywhere, simply walking through Paris has become an obstacle course. You're dodging scooters, bikes, cars that park on sidewalks, and cafe terraces that have expanded so far they block pedestrian traffic. Public restrooms are either non-existent or require payment, and the ones that exist are often in deplorable condition. Planning your day around bathroom availability becomes a genuine concern. The city's cleaning services are overwhelmed. Parts of Paris, particularly tourist-heavy areas at the end of the day, are littered with trash, food containers, and general debris. The romantic image of pristine Parisian streets. That's selective photography. Accessibility is terrible. If you have any mobility issues, Paris will eat you alive. Most metro stations don't have elevators. Cobblestone streets and uneven sidewalks make wheelchair navigation nearly impossible. Many restaurants and attractions have stairs and no alternative access. Perhaps the saddest part of modern Paris is that the city is losing its soul to tourism. Traditional French businesses are being replaced by international chains and tourist traps. The small boulangeries, family-run bistros, and local artisan shops are disappearing, replaced by Starbucks, McDonald's, luxury brand stores, and restaurants that exist solely to exploit tourists. Entire neighborhoods have been transformed into open-air museums where actual Parisians can no longer afford to live. The character and authenticity that made these areas special in the first place has been sanitized and commercialized beyond recognition. Finding genuine French experiences has become nearly impossible in central Paris. Want authentic French cuisine at reasonable prices where locals actually eat? You'll need to go far into the outer arrondissements or suburbs, which defeats the purpose of being in Paris. The language barrier has created a bizarre situation where many tourist area businesses don't even primarily speak French anymore. Everything is in English, menus are in 5 languages, and the connection to French culture becomes superficial at best. Cultural events and experiences have been turned into tourist products. Even things that were once accessible to everyone, like enjoying a picnic by the Seine or watching street performers, have been complicated by regulations, crowds, and commercialization. The romantic Paris of literature, film, and dreams. It exists only in pockets now, hidden away from tourist routes, accessible mainly to those who live there or have the knowledge to find it. For the average tourist, following the standard itinerary, you're getting a theme park version of Paris, not the real thing. Timing your visit doesn't help as much as you'd think. Every season has become problematic in its own way. Summer, you're competing with the absolute peak of global tourism, unbearable heat that the city isn't equipped to handle because most buildings lack air conditioning, and prices at their highest. Expect long lines everywhere, hotels fully booked, and a city that feels more like a sweaty international transit hub than a romantic destination. Spring and fall, traditionally the sweet spot, are now so well known as the best times to visit that they've become almost as crowded and expensive as summer. The shoulder seasons have disappeared. Winter offers fewer crowds, but brings its own misery. Gray skies, cold rain, short days, and a city that shuts down earlier. Many attractions have reduced hours, and the romantic Christmas market experience you imagined. It's crowded, commercial, and charges €8 for a cup of mulled wine. Here's the perspective that makes Paris 2026 even harder to swallow. There are so many better options. For the same money you'd spend on a mediocre week in Paris, you could have extraordinary experiences elsewhere. Lyon and Bordeaux offer authentic French culture, excellent food and wine, beautiful architecture, and manageable crowds at a fraction of the cost. Portugal's Lisbon and Porto give you European charm, incredible food, friendly locals, and beaches, all while being 40% cheaper. Eastern European capitals like Prague, Budapest, and Krakow offer stunning architecture, rich history, and tourism infrastructure that can actually handle visitors, at prices that make Paris look absurd. Even within France, places like Provence, the Loire Valley, or Brittany offer more authentic French experiences, beautiful scenery, and the space to actually relax and enjoy yourself. The sad truth is that Paris has become a victim of its own success. The city has been so thoroughly marketed, so completely sold as a must-visit destination, that it's been loved to death. The infrastructure, the culture, and the experience can't support the volume of people who want to be there. So why does it suck to be a tourist in Paris in 2026? Because you're paying premium prices for a substandard experience, because you're fighting crowds at every turn, because you're a target for scams and theft, because the authentic Paris you dreamed about largely doesn't exist in the places tourists go anymore. You're paying €200 for a hotel room that would cost €60 in a better-maintained hotel elsewhere. You're waiting in lines that waste hours of your vacation. You're eating mediocre food at inflated prices. You're being treated with indifference or hostility. You're contributing to the very problem that's destroying what made Paris special. Does this mean you shouldn't go to Paris? Not necessarily. Paris still has incredible art, history, and architecture, but you need to go in with realistic expectations, a substantial budget, a thick skin, and a willingness to work hard for the experiences you want. If you do go, here's my advice. Book everything in advance, avoid peak season if humanly possible, stay in outer arrondissements, learn basic French phrases, protect your belongings obsessively, eat where locals eat, and accept that you won't see everything on your Instagram bucket list. Or, consider whether Paris is really where you want to spend your hard-earned money and vacation time, because in 2026, being a tourist in Paris often means paying top dollar to be uncomfortable, stressed, and disappointed. The City of Light has become the city of might want to reconsider. Thanks for watching. If you've been to Paris recently, drop your experiences in the comments. And if you're planning a trip, seriously consider the alternatives. Your wallet and your sanity will thank you.